Yeah, we're partying on a Monday. Welcome to the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. I'm Steven Elson, technically the host, but really the show is all about you. If you've done it before, you know that you're going to have access to our special guests. You're able to ask them questions live via video chat, or if you're feeling shy, just hop on the old Twitter machine and use this hashtag. I got my laptop in front of me. I'll be refreshing, so if you have questions, fire away. And today's special guest, my man David Hess of the Baltimore Orioles, who's joining us now on Ballpark Cam. David, we were talking before we came on live. I feel like every time I'm working at the network, you're either pitching or involved somehow, and that stays true today. So how are you feeling?
Hey, I'm feeling good. It's a beautiful day here in Baltimore, and really enjoying it.
And by the way, folks, David says he is down to get weird. So if you have a question that's not about baseball, I will ask it. And actually our first one, David, on the heels of May the 4th and Star Wars Day, Fasciani 10 is asking, which Star Wars Sith Lord do you think you could strike out on 3 pitches?
I mean, that's kind of a tough question because there's a lot of really good ones out there.
Yeah.
And anybody that knows me knows, I really love Star Wars, kind of maybe sometimes too much. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Darth Vader's kind of the go-to. There's always some memes or something out there with him involved in it just because he's the most well-known. So, I mean, I guess I'd have to throw him out there. I think the hardest would be Darth Maul. I mean, he's got a double-sided lightsaber. Yeah. So I feel like that kind of puts me at a disadvantage. But I think maybe one of those two. Those are two of my favorites.
A switch-hitting Sith is that Darth Maul. Do you have the 20th of December circled on your calendar?
I don't have it circled, but it is marked in my mind.
Okay.
I've actually been looking up recently a lot of theories and stuff about the newest trailer, just kind of what people were thinking is going to happen. So
you're all in.
I'm really excited to see. Oh yeah.
Do you dress up when you go to watch?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not a dress-up guy. I have a Star Wars shirt. Wore that for May the 4th. So that was I said that I wore it that day especially because that's the one day it's socially acceptable to be all out in Star Wars, and nobody can say anything. So,
all right, it's the Edward Jones Chatting Cage with David Hess, myself, Steven Elson, and you, the fan. And our first one, David, is Lou, who's hopping on via call. Lou, welcome to the show. What do you got?
Thank you so much. Good afternoon to you both. And my question from Mr. David Hess is, how would he describe the adjustment process of playing for skipper Mr. Brandon Hyde?
Yeah, I mean, an adjustment process, I think, is a good way to put it, just because anytime you get around a new group of staff, especially just with a new head of the pack, it's just kind of adjusting to kind of who they are as a person, understanding how they want things to be operated. And I mean, it's a very laid-back environment. He's very approachable, really wants good relationships with the players. And so I would describe him, I guess, as a very player-friendly coach, just very interactive. And so I think I speak for everybody and not just myself that it's been a lot of fun so far, just, interacting with not just him but the new group of staff that we have, and just trying to do everything we can to get better as a team.
David, just tell me, you don't have to tell anybody else, was your relationship, though, a little bit strained when Brandon took you out of the game when you were looking at a no-no?
I think a lot of people kind of assume that, but I got to be totally honest. I think it actually grew stronger. I mean, I really meant everything I said after that about how that just shows the type of guy that he is and how much he cares for us as players, because that's a tough thing, especially in his first year, and really that was like the first or second week of the season. So for him to really have that just care for us so early in the season really meant a lot to me, and I think it showed a lot about who he is.
Yeah, that was, in all seriousness, an awesome moment, the exchange you had as he was coming to the mound, the smile you had on your face, and definitely appreciated what Brandon Hyde was looking out for you there. Hey, so again, we passed May the 4th, Cinco de Mayo. Another event that just passed was the NFL draft. And you know who wasn't drafted? David Hess. Because as we learned in 2018, playing wide receiver just isn't in the cards for you.
Yeah, I mean, that was just kind of a little bit of an unfortunate time, but It actually, you know, they say that no publicity is bad publicity, so I kind of took that and ran with it at that point. But I mean, more than anything, I think I just worked on it this off season. Just, you know, working on my hands a little bit, trying to just improve so that, you know, when the football comes around, I'm ready this time and my eyes appreciate it.
A bigger, faster, stronger. Yeah, you were feeling that going into spring training on the mound and on the football field as well. Getting back to Twitter as well. Our next question here inside the Edward Jones chatting cage is from Sharon, who wants to know more about your pregame routine.
Okay, yeah. I have a pretty, I would say a pretty standard routine. A few hours before the game, get to the park and just kind of start getting ready, start looking at really in depth on the scouting reports and seeing what the lineup is for that day and how we're going to approach guys. And then from there, it's, you know, I'll grab a bite to eat, and then a couple hours beforehand, start getting stretched out, getting the body going and getting loosened up, and getting together with Broke, our pitching coach, and whoever's catching that day. And so really, before I get to the field, it's pretty normal. I try and make it as normal of a day as possible because in my mind, the more that I hype it up, just kind of the more that nerves can sink in a little bit. So just try and really enjoy the day because really when you get out there on that mound, that's what we work 5 days to get ready for, and just to get out there and compete, that's really what it's all about. So you want to have fun with it.
And David, to expand a little bit more, it's not just that, it's the mental and the emotional approach and preparation as well. So there's also a unique thing that you and your teammates do every week throughout the season to sort of keep that balance. What is it?
I mean, really we just kind of stay loose.
Yeah.
I mean, we really just come together
but you learned, you've learned to make fun of yourself and laugh and remind yourself as you guys are professionals that it's still a kid's game.
Absolutely. I mean, me and Paul Fry, you know, we just really try and pretty frequently. We started this last year at the end of the year when we were both up here, just kind of coming together and just saying, you know, at least once every day, every couple days, just saying, hey, we're in the big leagues, you know, and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of pressure that comes along with it if you allow it to. But for I think both of us, that's just a big kind of reminder of this is a game that we've been playing since we were, you know, 4, 5, 6 years old. And so just to come out here and just getting the opportunity to have fun and just play the game that we've loved since we were a kid, it's a special opportunity. And so you don't want to let the circumstances necessarily going on around you prevent you from enjoying the special time that you get.
We're hanging out with David Hess of the Baltimore Orioles inside the Edward Jones chatting cage. Just a few more minutes, so if you want to ask him something via video chat, you hop on, you either sign up or sign in, and then we'll get you in here, or you can hit us up on Twitter using the hashtag chatting cage. Something I think many folks and many fans are curious about, David, is what is Tullahoma Wildcat baseball all about in Tennessee?
Tullahoma baseball in particular, I think it's a small town, and so there's a lot of focus around it, but we produce some pretty good athletes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm included in that group, but
of course you are.
I'm produced from Tullahoma, I guess, and so, but I mean, going to high school and playing with some really special guys, the Sheffield brothers, they're both doing really well in their careers, and then, I mean, we had a lot of other guys that were good, solid players. Some of them got drafted. I played with a few of them in college as well. And so really just, I mean, baseball in Tullahoma is a big deal. The town really cares a lot about it. And so just to be able to go back and, you know, just kind of look at those times and see all the memories that were there, it's special to be able to share that, not just with guys then, but also, I mean, especially with Justice last year, we were standing in center field in Yankee Stadium talking about how, you know, when we were in high school thinking about, like, just dreaming about, you know, that being a reality. And so just kind of to see everything come together like that, it's something that, you know, is really exciting for us to be able to share together.
Yeah, Justice Sheffield, Jordan Sheffield. You guys flew out, your head coach, Brad White, to Yankee Stadium last year, which is special and awesome. Also shouts to Dwan Brazelton, and there's one more, Brian Morris.
Yep.
Brian Morris. And don't listen to David being humble. He had his jersey retired by the high school. It's a big deal, David.
Yeah. Like you said, to be on that list, it's a special group and a lot of really good talent coming out of there, and so just something that I'm really grateful for.
All right, heading back to Twitter, and another question here on the Edward Jones chatting cage is, let's see, what do we want to know from David Hess? Let's see, 8:33.
I'm an open book.
Okay, Jared says, I think you have the potential to be our ace of the future. What steps are you taking to limit the damage of the home run ball?
Yeah, well, wow, we just got a really big gust of wind. First off, thank you for thinking that highly of me. It means a lot to me. But I think the biggest thing that we've been working on this year is really just executing pitches, and if we miss our location, then not missing in the middle of the zone. And I mean that's a concept that seems really simple, but really just trying to make sure that if there's any damage, then it's limited to keeping it in the ballpark, especially. And so Broke's done a great job, coming alongside and really kind of teaching me a lot, along with the other pitchers. I mean, we interact with each other, I think, just as much as we do with our pitching coach. And so for the veteran guys to kind of give their input and what their thoughts are, and really just work together to be the best team that we can be.
All right, David, are you ready for the lightning round in the Edward Jones chatting cage?
Let's do it.
So what we do here is pepper you with some rapid-fire questions, and you just hit us with the very first thing that pops in your head. Don't really want you thinking. I just want you answering, all right? One
Sounds
has
good.
to go. Star Wars, Avengers, Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. I don't watch it.
Okay, all right. Who has the nicest car in the Orioles parking lot?
Chris Davis. He just got a new truck.
Yeah, hey, break the streak, get yourself a new truck. I love it. Athlete from baseball or another sport that you idolized growing up.
Chipper Jones was my go-to guy.
Favorite road city?
Chicago.
South side or north side?
I've only seen the south side, so
Okay.
maybe I'll have to check out the north side soon.
Rain delay hits. What's the best way to kill time?
That's really tough. There's a lot of stuff. I think in the clubhouse we like to play pool.
Nice. I like college baseball rain delays better.
Yeah.
I feel like things are a little bit more weird, right?
Yeah, you get out there, you slide around on the tarp a little bit, make the clubbies, really work hard on your jersey. That's what you got to do.
David, if you're feeling hungry and you go to Boog's Barbecue, the order is what?
Got to go brisket.
Brisket? Okay, let me write that down next time. I've never actually been to Camden Yards, so I got to get that off my bucket list here.
It's a pretty special place.
You mentioned that you don't watch Game of Thrones. Which show was the one that you most recently binge watched?
Oh God. I've been watching New Girl a lot lately.
Yes.
Gives you a good laugh.
Yeah. Who's your favorite character? I'm gonna guess Schmidt for you.
Schmidt's pretty funny. I think Winston's the low-key funniest person on the show.
Winnie the Bish. Okay. All right.
Yeah, Winnie the Bish.
All right. The funniest thing, speaking of comedies, the funniest thing that you've had heckled at you by a fan.
Well, a lot of that probably is football related because of what happened last year. So I can't think of one particular thing, but that concept. I had one guy say that he hoped I could pitch better than I could catch. So I guess that's as creative as he got. So yeah.
Are you going to be out there for Ravens OTAs?
I might. I mean, if they want me to come out, I like I said, I've been working, so we'll be ready.
After that happened, you, of course, were rocking an LSU helmet, which was a bit of a surprise because you're from Tennessee and figured you might be rooting for the Vols, even though you went to Tennessee Tech. Speaking of Tennessee, is it a basketball school now?
It's more of a basketball school. I think still a football school.
Knoxville's awesome. I have been. I haven't been to Camden Yards, but I've been to Knoxville, and the energy around that stadium on game day is electric.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, they mean business. That's why football is going to be hard to top there.
Yeah. No, I feel you. David, a walk-off question, or point. I'm going to let you make it. Anything that you would like to say or get off your chest here before the Orioles and Red Sox play?
Yeah, I mean, I think really the biggest thing is just everybody that's out there, if you're paying attention, just hop on board. We got a special group of guys. We're working hard, and I know the numbers may not be there to support it right now, but there's a lot of good stuff coming in the future, and so we're going to look back to this time and see this is where it all started. So everybody hop on board. We're ready to go.
Folks, May 6, 2019, you heard it from David Hess. If it happens a few years from now and you didn't listen, that's your own fault. David, listen, man, we really appreciate you hopping inside the Edward Jones chatting cage once again like you did last year. It was great to talk with you, and we'll do it again down the road.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Be well. So as we say farewell to our special guest, David Hess, he's the man. I really enjoyed talking to him. I wish we could have gotten a little more weird, but we got to know him as a human and a ball player. So we want to thank Lou, Sharon, Jared, the people who hopped on and asked questions, and really everybody who tuned in to the Edward Jones chatting cage. Joe Trezza as well of MLB.com for hooking us up with some of the Twitter questions. Shouts to you as well. So until next time, Stephen Nelson saying goodbye.